to another writing vlog here at The Cozy Chaotic. It is almost the end of 2023, so I wanted to do something a little bit interesting today. I love all the different reset routines you can find on YouTube, and I was thinking, what if we had a writing or creative specific reset? I had so many writing goals for this year, and some of them I met, some of them I didn't. But now that things are coming to a close, I want to take a minute to reflect, find inspiration, figure out what I want to achieve in the new year, and I would love if you all would join me. We're gonna do it all. We're gonna journal, we're gonna create a vision board, we're gonna set goals. We might even do a little bit of writing while we're at it, so if that sounds of interest to you, go ahead and brew yourself a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, and let's get started. The very first thing I want to do is reflect on this last year. Every December, I write out what I achieved that year, my hopes for the next year. I handwrite it all in a journal, and I have that journal with me. But first, I want to take some time to think about how I feel about this year before looking at what I achieved and didn't achieve. I don't want my view of success to be entirely swayed because while I might not have achieved what I had thought I would a year ago, that doesn't mean that I didn't do some great things. So I'm gonna start out just by free journaling, filling at least 3 pages, just describing how I'm feeling. That felt so right and so good. I wrote a lot, so I'm not going to read it all to you, and some of it is pretty personal, but I do want to share a little bit of the sentiment. In 2023, I discovered that what is most fulfilling to me is embracing my own chaos. This channel is called The Cozy Chaotic for a reason. I, like many adult women, was diagnosed very recently with ADHD later in life. And it can be really frustrating trying to be productive, trying to get things done when you have this brain that sometimes feels like it's working against you. But I feel like engaging in my creativity and my writing practice were really helpful for reframing the way I think about my brain. I learned that I love my brain. I love that this year I started a YouTube channel, wrote all these stories for work, worked on my novel, did a bajillion hobbies and crafts. While my progress might not have been the most focused, it was very exciting and fun and real. This year I learned that the process might look a little bit different for me, but I love myself and there's no one else I'd rather be. It's not a huge, deep reflection on life, but it feels good. Knowing that about myself, I also realized that hyperproductivity is kind of the death of my creativity. Whenever I focused too much on output, I really took the joy away from the process, and that just made me burn out and got me nowhere. I think that's why I'm really excited about this channel and these writing vlogs. It's a way for me to romanticize and document the process. Y'all aren't seeing my end result at the end of every writing session, yet you're still joining me for them. And that's because the process itself is beautiful. If I ever do make a book that makes it out into the world, I don't want to just love the end result. I want to have loved writing, have loved the process of creating. So now we can romanticize this a little bit further and let's make that vision board. Admittedly, I'm not great at a lot of aesthetic things. I enjoy doing them, but they don't always look the best. But once again, the point is loving the process, not the end result, reminding myself of that. I've seen a lot of people do digital vision boards. If that's what works for you, go at it. For me personally, I'm a very tangible person. I'm kind of out of sight, out of mind. So if I set up a vision board in like an app or something, I'm probably just gonna completely ignore it. But I do have a giant bulletin board I've put over my desk. So I wanna create my vision board there. Let's pick out some images, let's print them, let's get to it. First, what I'm gonna do is open up Canva, and then I'm gonna go to Elements and find different designs that kind of match what I'm looking for. So I might type in writer, let's say, go to photos, and then browse through all the different great aesthetic inspiring options. Once I've found one I like, I select it, make sure it's about the size I'm gonna want it to be once I print it, and then keep going. Now that that's done, it's time to send everything to the printer, cut it out, and then play around on my bulletin board. So I finished my 2024 vision board. It isn't perfect. Some of the pieces are crooked. Actually, I think the entire bulletin board is kind of crooked. Not everything is laying perfectly flat. Things might fall off as the year goes on. So I guess you could say it's perfectly cozy chaotic. The activities we've done so far today have been inspirational, but also they've just been fun. I think that's the important thing. I really want to bring the fun back into this craft for me. I want to fantasize about my story while eating cookies and filming a video. I want to be a part of a community. I want to have more shared moments like this one. So if you'd like to join me for this moment, subscribe. Like, comment. It's a small channel, so it helps a lot, goes a long way. It's much easier to say, I want to finish the novel, get that agent. It's much more tangible. And don't get me wrong, I do want those things, but I think that kind of saps the joy out of it. In 2024, my goal isn't going to be to become a signed author, a published author. My goal is to be a writer, to be a creative, to build a community. Still, I think it's helpful to get a little bit more granular with these goals, so I'm gonna spell them out with another journaling session, and then once I'm done, we can wrap up with a nice writing sprint together. Cheers!